Today we are starting on a new text known as Sarvajnanottaram Atma Sakshatkara Prakarna. Sarvajnanottaram is a well-known Agama text. There are various types of Agamas. Agamas mean tantric texts. Some of the tantric texts contain some private of that ultimate knowledge. And the Agamas can be normally considered as the one which deals with the Divine Mother, Devi. There are so many tantras, like Kularnava Tantra, which deal about the Kundalini Shakti and the Divine Mother. While there are other Agamas which are considered as Shaiva Agamas. We have a separate cult with a concept called the Shaivism. The Shaivism is of three kinds. There is one Shaivism in Kashmir, it is called the Kashmir Shaivism, where Shiva is formless. See, in all these Shaiva Tantra, Shiva is considered to be the ultimate goal. He is the ultimate Brahman. The word Brahman is not used by them. They use the word Shiva. But the Shiva is not the Shiva we conceive of with form, with a matted hair, with the moon and the Ganges on his head, with a number of serpents on his body going around. No. The Shiva means the formless God, that is the ultimate supreme being, that is the Shiva consciousness. By Shiva we mean the supreme Shiva consciousness. So they were known as the Shaiva Gamas. But apart from the Shaivism of Kashmir, we had Shaivism which was very much in the south, especially in Tamil Nadu. They had Shaivism which is based on certain Agamas called the Pushkara Agama. And there was some Shivacharya called Laikanda Shivacharya who has written some books on this. And this is mainly being nourished and cultivated by certain specific mathas in Tamil Nadu. They are known as Adhinas and Tamilas. They are all not Sanyasis like us. They have taken Sanyas under the Agama method, which is different. So there is another Shaivism there. In Shaivism, again they believe in their thread, a trinity. The trinity is Vasu, Vasha, Vasupati. Vasupati is the ultimate Lord who is the Lord of all the Vasu. Vasu means any ignorant being, any jiva which is ignorant as to who he is called as Vasu. And Vasha is the bondage under which he works, and thus is subject to a lot of misery, suffering and hardships. So, and there was a small cult of Shaivism which flourished in Karnataka, which is known as Lingayat groups. They have got their own mathas. They got their own methodologies. And they are also on the formless Shiva only. But even though it is on the formless Shiva, they also believe in the worship of Linga. So they will be wearing a Linga here. As soon as the child is born, one Linga is put. Later on, when the first initiation is given, then another Linga is given. And that Linga should not be separate from the body. The Linga form of Lord Shiva, that is given to them which they always wear inside some golden or silver rocket flash. But as you begin now, they will be always wearing it. They are known as Lingas. But if you see their vachanas as they are called, which have been translated in English, they are all the most beautiful Advaita only. Finally, it's all Advaita, whether you call it Shaivism, whether you call it by any other term, finally it all comes to the same. But they use certain technical words of their own, that's all. So this is one of the Shaiva Gamas, this Atma Sakshatkara Prakarna of the Jnana Kala. The Jnana Kala Vidyapalottaram actually consists of about 5 chapters. The first chapter is called the Yogapada, which deals with the pranayama, the inhalation, exhalation, that method by which one purifies himself and then tries to raise his kundalini. So that is being talked about in the Yogapada, then the first pada. The second one is called the Jnanapada. Jnanapada consists entirely of the jnana of Shaivism, with the Pashu, Pati, Pasha and all these things. So it is pure Shaivism. Then the third chapter is this chapter which we are now going to take up for our study. That is called Atma Sakshatkara, Prakarna. And then they have got, next one they have got a chapter called the Shadatma Prakarna, where they are dealing with the growth of the child, how the child grows in the womb, from when the fetus forms, and the growth of the fetus from month to month, day to day, and when the consciousness comes in it. This is all beautifully discussed in that Prakarna. And lastly, it deals with a mantra Purusha Prakarna, giving a particular mantra which will be helpful for the world, but that mantra is not given in an explicit way. It is given in code words, and only the one who can break the code can understand that mantra. So now we are dealing with only the Atma Sakshatkara Prakarna. It is a purely self-realization. The first 2 shlokas are almost like introductory, and then he straight dealt with the subject. And this Atma Sakshatkara Prakarna, it was originally in Sanskrit. And Bhagavan Ramana, soon after he translated this Devikalottara after quite some time, we have already dealt with that book, Devikalottara, which is another Agama. A few years after that, Bhagavan took this up for translation. Took this up does not mean that he made a sankalpa, today I am going to translate. No. It was a spontaneous outburst which he couldn't avoid, and he had to put it in writing. Almost all his works were all spontaneous outbursts, otherwise he was not interested in such activities at all. But then for the benefit of the world, that was the program of the universal, and they themselves were the universal, there was his own program in a way. Even though outwardly he was acting just like a common man, and he said, well, I couldn't help it, it is just coming again and again, come on, bring that notebook, I have to write it. But actually, he was the universal. That is why, when he is translating, Bhagavan himself provided a Mangala Shloka for this, an innovatory poem in Tamil. Anmavam Ishan Guhanakka Arusheda Anma Sakshatkara Idu Anmavai Yannagatte Irundu Yendru Tamil Solvan Ammunnavanaya Mudal. He says, this book, this text, which contains some of the most beautiful methods to be adopted for getting the self-knowledge. It deals with 2 or 3 methods, like, and the beautiful forms of meditation are being dealt with here. And who gives these methods or techniques? No mortal has given these methods. These have come from the very mouth of Lord Shiva, who tells it to Lord Subramanya. Lord Subramanya was his second son, the second son of Lord Shiva. So this is a direct instruction from the mouth of Lord Shiva to Subramanya. So, he says this book, which was originally told by Lord Shiva in Sanskrit to Guha, now it is being translated into Tamil language by whom? He says, Tamil Sulvan Am Munnavanaya Mudal. That foremost among the gods, that is Lord Shiva himself, is coming in the form of Ramana, and he is telling to Guha. What is the difference between the father and the son? Guha was verily the Lord Shiva himself, and Bhagavan used to conduct Kandavatara, and he was that universal, that Brahman. So as such it is all one and the same. So he says it is not being written by anybody. This is being written, the Tamil portion, the Tamil translation was itself done by Lord Shiva himself in the form of Brahmana. That is why he was compelled to write this translation. There is the glory of this. And now we start. And one small beauty in this book is, many would have perhaps noted it. The version in Sanskrit, it is in the handwriting of Bhagavan himself. It is a photocopy of Bhagavan's own handwriting, which has been incorporated in the print. That's all. So, that is a holy aspect of this book. Atmanyam sampravrikshami Ishvara Vacha. It is the Bhagavan who is telling Guha. Atmanyam sampravrikshami Shupayam tattvato guha Agrasyapi sukshmasya Sarvagasya nishkalam. In the previous chapters, he has already told one method, the method of yoga. Then the second Prakarna, he has already told that another type of knowledge known as the Shaivism, the knowledge of Shaivism involving the thread, Vasishta Guha. So here he says, now I am going to tell you one more technique, Upaya, means technique. Now after having dealt with the yoga and others earlier, Anyam Sampravikshami. I am going to tell Sampravikshami, I am going to tell, I am going to narrate another technique which will be of use for those who are interested in God realization. Upayam tattvataha he guha, O Shanmukha, O Skanda, he is addressing it. Tattvataha sampravikshami. I am going to explain it in detail. Tattvataha, in all its reality, containing all the real things I am going to, because many people do not like to divulge the most secret techniques. They will give it only personally to certain select disciples, and sometimes they may not even give. Many such techniques have died in those Mahatmas. That's why Bhagavan says that I am not going to reserve anything without any reservation, unreservedly, tattvataha, in all its deeper aspects, in all its profound aspects. Tattvata also means in its profound aspect. In its profound aspect as a reality. Sampravikshami, I am going to narrate. What for is this technique? This technique is necessary because in order to get hold of somebody who is extremely elusive, he eludes all our grasp. You cannot catch him easily. Agrasyapi. Grasya means to catch. Normally, we can catch somebody with our karmendriyas, with our organs of action. By hand, you can catch somebody. You can catch somebody with your feet, as the wrestlers do sometimes. So, these are all the organs which are given for catching hold of, but he is one who is beyond all these organs of action. None of them can be active enough to catch him, so he is called Agrasya. Agrasyapi Sukshmasya. Why? Why can't you catch him? It is gross, it is concrete, it is solid, you can catch him. Here is one who is not solid, who is not concrete. He is the subtlest of the subtlest. He is extremely subtle. Sukshmasya. He is extremely subtle. So, the various antenna which have been provided to you for grasping him, they are useless. You will have to develop some other unique instrument in order to grasp him. Then, at the same time, see, it all looks contradictory. He says he is very difficult, he is sukshma, it is impossible to catch him, but at the same time, sarvagasya, he is everywhere. He is everywhere, but still we can't catch him. There is no place where he is not, because he is in the form of the material cause by which this entire world has been formed. That is why he is called the Sarvaga. Sarvaga doesn't mean that he is sitting like you and I in every place. No. Sarvaga means just as a pot. In a pot, the clay is everywhere. It is Sarvaga, so long as the pot is concerned. Because the pot is mainly made up of the clay. If you take away that clay, there will be no pot. Similarly, if you take away that supreme being, that supreme consciousness, from every object in the world, there will be no world left. So, Sarvagasya. So, in respect of him, how to catch hold of the one who cannot be caught? How to think of him who cannot be thought of? For that purpose, I am going to tell you a technique. What sort of a technique? It is not a technique in parts. We have got several techniques which cannot directly take you to the Lord, which cannot directly take you to the realization. They may take you to a certain stage. Say, for instance, some people are doing the mantra of a particular deity, say of Ayyappa, Shah. That can only give you certain powers. It may take you to a certain distance, and you may even get a vision of that God. He'll be coming, talking to you, playing with you. All these things could be there. But again, it is all an exercise in imagination. Yes, it is a good exercise. We'll finally reach him. See, this Saguna also is a step towards the final one. But it doesn't directly lead you, it leads you in parts. It leads you in installments. So, this is a Nishkala, this has no part. It is a holistic pattern. Yes. Schrödinger has given a new name for the interconnectedness of all things in the universe. He says everything in the universe, from the blade of grass upwards to the gods, they are all linked together. And this holistic pattern, he has given a new name called Holon, H-O-L-O-N, Holon. There is a new name given by Dr. Schrödinger, who is one of the quantum physicists. So, this is the knowledge of Holon. This is not a knowledge in part. The entire knowledge of the entire world, the entire self, everything will be revealed to you at one and the same time. And that is why this is called Nishkala, the one without part. Kala means a part. We say Chandran has got 15 kalas. Kala means a digit, a part. Now we come to the next. Yena vidyayate samyake yajnatva tushivo bhavet nakasyachit maya kyatam tadvijyanam shrinushvame. That second, when they split it, shrinushu yeva, that is wrong. It is one word called shrinushva. Shrinushu yeva, cut it out and make it as shrinushva. It is one word. That means here, shrinushva. I am now going to tell you a method by knowing which you will straight away become the ultimate secret so long. For the first time it is being revealed to you by me. Nobody has talked of it, and I am revealing it for the first time. And this is not a theoretical knowledge. This is a knowledge which has been extended to the palm. Many have gone through this palm and they have reached me. And this is Vijnana. You see, Tat Vijnanam Shrunushva me. I am going to tell you that experiential knowledge, that Vijnana, that special knowledge, a knowledge which can be acquired only through experience. No amount of theoretical knowledge will do. If you talk of the sweetness of sugar to a person who has never tasted sugar at all, who never knows what is sweetness itself, even if you talk for 3 hours, he won't understand. It is a knowledge which can be given only through experience. You give him a spoon of sugar, come and take it, and then see what happens. Yes, this is very sweet. Ask him to explain what is the sweetness, he can't. So, this is the particular sweet knowledge, the highest knowledge, which you can know only through your own experience. You have to pass through it, you have to merge in it, you have to become that. So this is the knowledge where you become that. That's Lord Shiva. Yena vidyayate samyak. By this technique, you will be able to understand extremely well. Samyak jnana is a special term which is used by the Buddhists, which was specially used by the Jainism, and we have also used. Samyak jnana is not the knowledge of this entire world. Samyak jnana is that knowledge where you know yourself. When once you know yourself, the entire world is known, because the world is not separate from yourself. First know yourself. The entire macrocosm, the entire universe is inside you in the microcosm. It is inside you. So as you analyze yourself, you have analyzed everything. On the contrary, if you go on taking analysis of a cockroach, analysis of a bee, there will be no end to it. You will be where you are. You won't be able to make any progress. It is only the self-inquiry, the self-analysis, which will lead us to the ultimate. Yena vidyayate samyak. So it is the samyak jnana. Your knowledge by knowing which everything else will be known. Your knowledge by knowing which everything else will be known. That is called the samyak jnana. Yad jnatva tu shivo bhavi. What will be the purpose of knowing? It is not a simple knowledge. The day you get that knowledge, you become that ultimate being, you become Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, Shivoham. I am that Shiva, I am that Shiva. Who is of the form of consciousness, who is of the form of Ananda or bliss. And na kasya chit maya akyatam. Kasya chit, na kasya chit, to nobody maya akyatam. It has been told. I have never told it to anybody else. This is the first time I am giving you this revelation. Tad vijnanam srunushvami. So it is an experiential knowledge which comes through only actual experience. You cannot get it from any books, but I am revealing it to you. Please hear it with attention, with rapt attention. Shrunishva doesn't mean just like the hearing it, because these are all subtle knowledge. We have to give all our attention to it. Now, Guru Paramparayatam Adrishtam Sarvabhadivihi Bhava Bandha Vimokshastam Paramam Sarvatopukam. Even if the knowledge is given by the very Lord, Lord has no leadership. Lord has no ego. Shiva has no ego. So naturally, They will never say that this is a knowledge, this is a technique which was founded by me. No. They will say, look here, this has all come through the traditions of so many preceptors and disciples. There were so many preceptors, there were so many gurus who have themselves gone by this technique and reached the stage of being merged in the Lord Shiva. They themselves have imparted this knowledge to their other disciples who have again gone the same path and perhaps become gurus in their own turn. So it has come through traditions of Guru Parampara. Yes, that is very, very important. Even when Lord Krishna starts to tell some of the most secret Raja Yoga to Arjuna, he says, look here, I have told it long back to the son, Vivatwan, and Vivatwan Manave Praha, Manu Rikshvakave Pravit. So he told somebody, so it has been handed down. See, the purpose of being handed down is, in the olden days, nobody will hand over a knowledge to an incompetent disciple. Today, anybody who approaches, who may give some dollars, you are prepared to part with all the knowledge in the world. It was not so. Nothing could shake down. The gurus of those days, the only way to know a guru is his desirelessness. He will not touch money. And such were the gurus of those days, who are not at all motivated by desires or name and fame, that their name should appear in the spiritual guide to all Americans. Such books are all coming now, where they will be giving such and such a man is a Jivan Mukta, such and such a man is a Jivan Mukta. We have got lists of Jivan Mukta, there are catalogs now available. There is one book from here to Nirvana. It contains various ashramas and various gurus who will consider Jivan Mukta. So there is a ready-made list available. Guru Paramparayatam. It used to come originally from the Lord himself, as they were coming through competent people who were again practicing it. This particular knowledge has improved in its potential. The very first man who adopted this technique might have had to slog a long time before he could realize this technique. But today, as it has come from such a holy tradition of so many competent people who have adopted it, this very jnana, which is itself a consciousness, this is not a bookish knowledge, and it is not an ordinary knowledge like the knowledge of a plant, like the knowledge of a bee. It is the knowledge of consciousness. It is itself as conscious as you and I. That sort of a jnana. So naturally, this jnana increases in its potency, in its effectiveness, as and when they are coming down the tradition. That is why whenever we are given some mantras to repeat, we always say, who is the Rishi? Now the Gayatri mantra, we always think of the original Rishi who did it. We say Vishwamitra Rishi. Apart from that, there were also certain other well-known sages who in between have been doing it. So, Kusta, Vasishta, Bhrigu, Ityadi, there are so many other people in the same lineage. Like that, Guru Parampara is very, very important. The more the number of competent people, the sages, the number of sages through whom the knowledge has come, the knowledge increases in its potency. So, Guru Parampara Ayatam. Ayatam, that which has come down to us, Ayatam, to come, that which has come down to us by the tradition of the Guru and the disciple, the preceptor and the disciple. Then, Adrishtam Sarvavadivi. This is a technique which you do, you will get the result. That is, you put on the switch is here, you will get the light. How are you concerned with how the light comes? How many number of wires are there which are connected? With how many phases of electricity is connected? Which wire goes to which side? Which is negative? Which is positive? Why should you know? So if you argue about it, you will never know this technique. So this is a technique which you adopt as it is. Don't try to dispute. Don't try to go into arguments about it. Don't try to compare it with others. If you are convinced that it has been given by the Lord Himself, it's a beautiful technique. You do it, you will get the result. The test of the pudding is in its taste. You just taste it, you will know. Why unnecessarily argue about it all? So disputes and arguments will take you nowhere. Nayam Atma pravachanena labhya. The Upanishad says, the more you try to argue about the Atman and the Brahman, so this is the thing, that is the thing, this is Advaita, this is Dvaita, this is Vasishta. So you should go by this. No, you should have from Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. No, you should have Lord Krishna consciousness is more important. The more you go on in this dialectic tactics, talking about it, you will get nowhere. Catch hold of anything on which we have and go straight away, you will be able to get it. Nayam Atma pravachanena labhya. Any amount of lectures, any amount of tarka, any amount of applying of the logic, arguments, none of them will be of any avail. Adrishtam sarva vadibi. Vadi means the one who does vada. The vidanda vadam tamadi suganga. So going on arguing, no, this should be like this should be like this. I'll tell you an actual case. There is a Mangalashram in Uttar Kashi where only I took my monkhood. In that ashram about 40 years back, there is a very good monk. A monk who was well versed in all shastras, excellent, and he was a pure Advaitin. He believed only in non-duality. He used to write a number of articles condemning this one, condemning that one, condemning Ramanuja, condemning Mahatma, and then giving beautiful quotations from the Vedas and scriptures in support of all these arguments. So he was doing so many things. He used to go into various conferences and he used to convert them all. He was so much involved from morning to night. He would be thinking of how to contend against this, how to contend against this, what logic he should put, where from he should go. The result, finally a day came when he began to write against Advaita itself. He began to condemn Advaita itself. Then where was he? God only knows. His mind went out, that's all. See, all these things are all mind-boggling affairs. Never get into any argument. That's all. Wherever we have got a faith that this is a pure science which has come out of a pure Mahatma. So many books of Bhagavan Ramana are there, wherein there are no distinctions as such. Beautiful talks. You just read the talks, you open any page as you like. It's not necessary that you should go by page. You need not even remember which page I read yesterday, so you could start. Take any page, read any page. You will get definitely something there for you. Even a word is enough, a spark is sufficient to kindle a fire. How much do you want? So, adrishtam sarvavaditi. This is a technique which cannot be perceived, which cannot be cognized, which cannot be understood by all these logicians. Vadi means a logician, the one who argues. So by all these logicians, it is beyond their reach. Adrishtam. All right. Bhavabandha vimokshartham. All right, this technique, you become Lord Shiva, all right. What do you get out of it? Yes, I may become Lord Shiva, I may become Lord Vishnu. What do I get out of it? Bhavabandha vimokshartham. As it is today, you are bound. You are limited. We feel we are limited in our life. We are unhappy. We feel we are limited in our health. We are unhappy. So everywhere, by time, by space, by objects, desha, kala, vastu, avachin. We are all limited at every part because you have identified yourself with a finite body, thinking that I am the body. Naturally, the body is limited. One day it has to leave you, and it is subject to all sorts of changes. it is subject to decay. All these things are there. So it is binding you on all sides. You don't have the freedom. You can't do what you want. You think that I am going to do this, I am going to achieve it. Finally the result is something else which you never expected. Whatever you wanted, you never got. And on the contrary, a sudden calamity has come and stood before you, which you never thought of one moment earlier. Just in one moment suddenly, that's all. How many cases? A man in the prime of youth, he is there. Suddenly you hear a news that he has been admitted for causing problems. How many cases? A man also thinks, what a pity. It's now about 5 years, 6 years. Nothing can be done. As many medicines as possible in the world have been tried. Magnetic therapy, this therapy, and also Ayurvedic methods. Nothing is the mobile. So you should know that there is some universal program, and we have to get out of this birth and death by itself. We have to get out of this association with this body which is limited. I am the unlimited. I am the Shiva. I am all knowledge. I am all consciousness. And I am the infinite. So, how can you get to that state of knowledge? There is no use of simply imagining like that. You should be really that. We want to come to that stage actually. It is not simply imagining ourselves that I am infinite, I am infinite. You should really feel that you are the infinite, you have all the powers of the infinite. You may not exercise it in life, but you do have all the powers. Sometimes you get glimpses of the infinite power. Bhagavan's infinite power you got perception through very small incidents. But Bhagavan never liked these miracles business. And we always believe, only if there are miracles we believe in its infinity. But Bhagavan also has shown sometimes one which seems his finger was broken like. There was some lady present, somebody was present at that time. He just took it and kept it, became okay with it, all. No plastering, not going to any orthopedic surgery, he just kept it, became okay. This is what is called of Sanyasa. But these are all small things which you will never try to tell people because we don't believe in miracles. The best miracle is the day you know your own self, that's the best of the miracles. So let us do that miracle first. Bhavabandha vimokshartham. Vimoksha means release. In order to get release from the Bhavabandha, Bhava means the phenomenal world, this world of relationships, that I, mind, possessiveness. So from this world of relationship, from this phenomenal world, this has caused a bondage on you, bandha. So from this bondage, in order to get release, this technique is being taught of. Paramam sarvatat sukha. This is the best of the techniques, and it will give you happiness from every way. Sarvataha sukham. When once you do this technique and realize that Atma or yourself, then no, there is nothing which will cause you any inconvenience. You will find everything is contributing to your happiness. We come to the next. Yotau sarvagato devaha sarvatma sarvato mukhaha sarvatatvamayo chudyaha sarvasyopari samsthitaha sarvatatvavjatitascha vammano nama varditaha sohamevam upasita nirvikalpena chetata. Straight away he has come to the technique of meditation. This is the meditation you have to do. Now the technique starts. What is the common substance of the meditation? The meditation is Soham Yevam Upasita. Always say that I am that, I am that, I am that. I am that means, what do you mean by that? That represents that supreme consciousness. which is beyond the three gunas. It is not affected by sattva guna, the mode of harmony in life, nor is it affected by rajo guna, the mode of dynamism, activity, go on doing something or other, start a school, start a charitable institution, start a hospital, start a school, none of those things. So beyond the Rajoguna. And lastly the mode of inertia, where you don't like to do anything, postponing, laziness, sloth. The one is beyond the three gunas. The one is beyond all the three shariras. We possess the three types of bodies. One is the gross body. The other one is that subtle body called the ethereal body, which consists of the mind, the various faculties of all those senses, and such like things, when the intellect, mind, all these things together, that forms what is called the linga sharira. That is also called the subtle body, sushma sharira. It is that which transmigrates from body to body. That is the main portion which carries all its past tendencies, all its vasanas and samskaras, all its conditioning, and goes to the next body. Then the third one is called the Karma Sharira. It is not actually a body that represents that basic ignorance as to who I am. That is why we are having all these disciplines. That basic ignorance which is called avidya, which is called maya, which is called the prakriti, which is after all a portion of the divine force. It has been released by the divine, by the ultimate divinity. So that which is beyond the three shariras, that which is beyond the three states, three avastha, sharira trayatita, gunatrayatita, avastha trayatisya, tati duchati. He is called Tatu, that. He is beyond the three states. He is not in the waking state. He is not in the dreaming state, and he is not in the sleeping state. He is in neither. He is beyond all, beyond all. And we should always think, I am that. This individual soul who is activating this body, who is activating this eye, who is activating this mind, he is the same as that universal whole, that totality, whose the final cosmic being, that supreme consciousness, whose dream creatures we all are. Soham evam upasita. Then, right? This is a technique which has been told to many. This alone won't do. I am that, I am that. How long can you go on? It should not be repeated as a mantra. Soham is normally not to be repeated as a mantra. But then you will get bored. After 5 minutes, go on saying, I am that, I am that, I am that, which. Somewhere some question will be coming inside you with a chakra. So, you yourself, you will have a schizophrenia. One will say, I am that, another will say, which that, they'll be asking. So, who is to answer? So, he is giving us an expansive technique where you think of that Tatri, you think of that Brahman, you think of the ultimate consciousness, you think of all the attributes of the Lord Shiva. He is attributeless, but still there are attributes for our upasana purposes, for our technique purposes. That is, you just see your soul. So, these and the certain slokas which come, these are all meant for meditation. If you get it by heart, along with its meaning, go on thinking, this is the type of the Brahman I am, this is the type of the Lord I am, this is the type of the self I am. So that again brings that what is called the Akhandakara Vritti, where 24 hours you are remaining completely merged in the supreme consciousness, and a day will come when this will disappear along with the ignorance. This is all a thought, but this thought also will disappear. Soham is a thought. So long as you say, I am that means still you are in duality. I, that. So, we are in duality only you have to start. You can't help it. So when you think of that, you will think, Yosau Sarvagato Devaha. I am that Supreme Being who is an effulgent being who is everywhere. Sarvagataha, as is the material cause of everything in this world, then what happens? Even with your eyes open, when you see a tree, you will remember this tree is made up of the Brahman. The moment you see a pot, you will see the clay, you won't see the pot. Develop that sight. When you see a creature, when you see another man, don't see a man, see the Supreme Being, see your own self in him. So that is the way in which you have to start this first one. This will stop the distraction of the world. Because today when you are thinking that each one is a different variety, it causes distraction. To avoid it when you see the same Lord everywhere, the same Supreme Being or the Supreme Consciousness everywhere, in everything, you develop a particular sight so that you remain merged in that. You won't see the differences in the items which you are seeing. You will see that only that one being. Yosam Sarvagato Devaha. That Deva means a God. Divu Jyotani. Divu means that which has got quality, that which has got effulgence, that effulgence. So, he is that effulgent being who reveals himself, who is everywhere. Sarvagata. Sarvatma, he is the Atma of all. He is myself. It is he who has come inside me. His sparks are in all the beings. It is that which is activating the eyes, which is activating my ears, which is activating my mind, which is activating all my thoughts, including the thoughts that I am Mr. David, I am Shantananda, I am Krishna, I am Brahma. So all these things, they also come out of it only. So, Sarvatma, he is the self of all. Sarvato Mukha. He has got faces everywhere. What does it mean? You consider anything as the Supreme Being, you can enter into. Go to the holy Ganges, that river which is flowing, you say, oh Mother, you are the Divine Mother, you are the Supreme Being, and then go on thinking, contemplating on those ripples which are going in those waves, you will be able to reach him, you will be able to reach a high state of meditation.